If recruiting and hiring, that was your biggest frustration, I wanted to show you something that we built for one of our clients. And we did this by downloading processes from our library. So they actually went into the library under here and went to our general processes. And we have all these processes like employee recruiting, hiring, onboarding, orientation, things like that. And I'm just going to go right to the dashboard and show you how this worked out, because they then took those processes and edited them to make them theirs, to simplify them. So in this instance, let's say I am the HR director. So I've been set up on the org chart as the human resources person. If we look at my name right here, Mike, I am the HR person on their org chart. So when I log in, I go to my HR position, and here are the processes that they downloaded and edited. So I'm going to click on New Employee Recruiting. Oh, and I should really explain that hiring people starts with recruiting. So this is all about finding candidates that you're going to interview. Then you interview them, and then you evaluate their progress. Actually, I would probably put this here, because you're going to be onboarding them and orienting them to their job and to the business. And then you're going to evaluate them. Actually, I'm going to put even this one there, because they coach and train, and then you evaluate them. So if I look at the recruiting process, for example, this recruiting process has a few tools. They use Indeed.com. So how do you post something on Indeed? It's real simple. They review the job description in TouchStone. They click on the organizational chart, print a PDF, they review it, and then they post the position on Indeed. Now, if this were me, I would probably put more content in here on how to post a position on Indeed, but it's super simple for them, so they just left it at that. Then they screen for interviews, and what they're doing is in Indeed, they're looking at what's coming through, and they've got some filters for what they're looking for. So for example, they only want local candidates. So from Brentwood, Oakley, Discovery Bay, etc. And then they schedule a short telephone interview to, again, determine, is this going to be a valid person to interview? And then after the candidates have had an initial phone interview, they decide who they're going to do an in-person interview for, and they send an application information release form. They can just click on this, email it to the candidate, and then they do reference checks. And they can either use the employee reference script, or they can send a reference check letter. And these, again, are clickable links that they can either use as a script when talking to someone, or email to references. And then they proceed to the interview process. And in the interview process, here's the full process, and then we break it down in a phone interview and the in-person or Zoom interview. And so the full, once the candidates have been identified, start with a phone interview. After pre-qualifying, do an in-person interview, conduct a contingent drug test, background check, official offer, proceed with the onboarding process. So that then takes them into onboarding. And when they go into onboarding, we actually have onboarding and orientation. So onboarding is getting them ready to come to the company. So they confirm the start date. They make sure that the time, place, dress code, etc. Bring your driver's license. And then they have some, when it's what they call the new hire paperwork, job application, direct deposit, I-9. These are all clickable, goes to it. The new hire fills them out. They let everybody in the company know that they've got a new employee. So they're basically all these different great little tools that are available. And after onboarding, there is what we call orientation. And orientation is kind of just getting them used to the job and used to the company, and making sure they got the right shirt sizes, making sure that everything did get done in the onboarding process, running them through some of the company's management philosophies, the employee handbook, the discipline process, the termination process, so there's never any mistake there. And then there is a training process and an evaluation process. So all of this is available to you in your TouchStone account, and if you're interested, I can work with you to download it into your account. You've got an account. We can just reactivate it for you, and we can customize it for you. So let me know what you think. If you'd want to take a deeper dive, feel free to reach out, and I'll put a link in the email where you can create some time with me to look at this a little bit more. Okay, talk soon.